This video provides an overview of the Logos Notes tool. It shows how to use it, how to make and find notes or highlights, how to tag notes and group them together, how to sort them. As a worked example, we'll look at making notes and highlights on the first few verses of Hebrews chapter 1. The Notes tool is opened from the Tools menu. This shows all your current notes and highlights in a faceted browser. Use these facets to drill down to the notes you want to focus on. You can specify you only want to see notes, focus on a particular biblical book, choose a particular translation, and more. This allows you to focus on a particular subset of your data relevant to the current task. Click one of the notes to see its contents. There are a range of notes formatting options. Options to change the notes icon or the highlighting style. There is also an indication of the notebook, if any, that contains the note, and you can move the note to a different notebook by selecting it from the drop-down. We'll look at notebooks in more detail later in this video. Click the full screen button to just display the note, and click it again to restore the browse details. To go back to seeing all of your notes and highlights, click All. To turn off the facet display, click the icon at the top left, and to search for some text in a note, enter it in the find box. To create a new note or highlight from the tool, click the New Note button and choose from the various options. Turning to the text in Hebrews, we're going to add some highlights and notes. The first thing we're going to do is to highlight the cross-references, and there are a range of ways of doing this. Select the You Are My Son text. If you have this selection menu enabled in Program Settings, you will see a small pop-up menu with a range of options including highlighting. Click one of the highlights to highlight the text. To choose from the complete range of highlights available to you, click the Highlight Tool button in this menu. As you apply the highlight, the Notes tool is updated to show this. Yet another option is to use Hotkeys, which is set up in the highlighting tool. I have the letter B associated with the blue colour, so simply pressing that key will create a highlight. Select the second cross-reference in verse 5 and press the B key to generate the highlight. Then we'll add in some notes. Select verses 1 to 4, and once again there's the option to add a note from the selection menu. Choosing this would create a note linked to the text, but to create a note linked to the reference, you need to use the fuller context menu. So right-click the selected text to bring up this menu, ensure the reference is selected on the left, and then click Take a Note. Change the notes icon as required, then add some text to the note. Select verses 5 to 7 and add a note. The first quotation in verse 5 is from Psalm 2 verse 7, and we'll link that reference to the note. Open the Anchors section of the note and add anchor. Click Reference and type Psalm 2 verse 7 in the reference box. Select from the drop-down menu and click Done. Now go into Psalm 2 shows the note is linked to verse 7. We'll also note how the creation statement in verse 2 echoes John 1 verse 3. Select Through whom also he created the world. Click New Note and New Note on selected text. Then add some content. Note the Bible references are automatically hyperlinked. We can also add highlights or notes to other resources, such as commentaries. Highlight the first sentence. In the examples above, we added a note to a reference, and with these types of notes, they appear in every resource indexed by verses such as Bibles and commentaries. To do this, as we saw, select a portion of text, right-click, ensure that the range is selected on the left, and take a note. Another option is to create a note that just links to the selected text, and here it will just appear in that resource. To do this, select a portion of text, right-click, ensure that this selection is selected on the left, and take a note. So far we've been using the default display mode, but there are other options. The compact view, which just shows brief details regarding the notes. Full preview, which just shows the notes without any of the context information. We've now created a number of notes and highlights. Sometime later we might want to come back to them and just look at those. We can choose everything we have on Hebrews, enter Hebrews into the search filter and select the book of Hebrews. Then remove this from the search filter to show all the Hebrews related notes and highlights. Both the resources we've been using for these notes are shown. And because we've just created them, we could select only those that have been created today. Incidentally, hover over a note to show when it was actually created and last modified. But we might want a more convenient way of selecting them. There are two options, using tags or notebooks. We can add a tag to a note, and we could filter on this tag to just see appropriately tagged notes or highlights. Or we could add all the notes and highlights we just created to a notebook. Click the notebook icon, click the plus symbol, and enter the name of the notebook. Then select all the notes using Shift-click and drag them to the notebook. Then select that notebook to get those particular notes and highlights. To add a note to that notebook, switch back to the ESV, select the text from God spoke to by his Son, right-click, ensure the text is selected, expand the Take a Note drop-down, and click the notebook you want to add the note to. Enter God as a speaking God in the content field, and the note is added to the notebook. If you don't specify a notebook, the note will be added outside of any notebook in a new instance of the Notes tool. By default, new highlights will be added to the currently selected notebook, if any. To change this, you need to specify the notebook you want from the highlighting tool, and this change is made at the palette level. And once a notebook is selected, the tab name is changed to reflect this. One of the benefits of this is you can have multiple instances of the Notes tool open, with each one having different notebooks selected. Select a notebook, and this changes the name in the panel tab and makes it easy to see which one is which. If you decide you don't want the note after all, you can simply delete it, either from the panel menu or by dragging it to the trash. Another powerful feature within the Notes tool relates to sorting notes. Select a biblical resource in the Notes tool and click the Sort drop-down menu. There are options to sort by creation and modification date, as well as order within the resource. And note the different sort order that appears as you choose these options. Add in a notebook to provide the opportunity to sort by how the notes appear in the notebook. Select the Bible reference option to enable the option to sort by reference. Once you've created notes, you can share them with others, and this is done at the notebook level. Click the Notebooks icon in the Notes tool and click the 3 vertical dots. Then select the Share option. From the Public tab, you can make the notebook visible to everyone, and once shared, you can copy a link to the notebook to send to interested people. From the Group tab, you can select a Faith Life group to share the notebook with. Select a group from the drop-down menu. Specify if you want everyone in the group to be able to edit the notebook as opposed to just viewing it, and click Done to share it. More details on sharing, including gaining access to shared notebooks, are provided in other Logos training videos. The Notes tool provides a powerful and integrated mechanism to create, access and reference the insights, ideas and questions you find in the resources you own. And with it available on the desktop, the web app and the mobile apps, you can take your research with you wherever you go.